What is up, y'all? Today, we talk about the truth with Rob Zombie's 2007 Halloween film. Before we get into it, definitely smash the like button because it definitely helps. And make sure you subscribe to the channel. I want to say this, y'all. I did a real deep dive with Rob Zombie's Halloween film, and I knew about a couple of things, but a lot of these things, like with the early, plans with the script, a lot of things they changed, a lot of the scenes that was originally going to happen was crazy. We got to get into a lot of this, but to start off, did you guys know that originally Rob Zombie wanted to do a whole entire movie about a young Michael Myers, being in his POV and just kind of seeing Michael elevate into adult Michael? So a whole movie with no, Myers mask, no coveralls or anything like that. Just kind of like an origin story with Michael Myers. And we seen obviously how he was with young Michael and Rob Zombie's Halloween movie, like, the earlier act and everything, him doing what he did with the rat, and, him actually talking and stuff like that. I definitely think the fans would have not gravitated towards that film. I think it was just better off him just doing Michael as an adult and how he just did it, to be honest. But yeah, it's very interesting to see that he actually was going to do a young Michael first and then elevate into the older Michael film, which I think, some people might have liked it, but most Halloween fans would have not enjoyed that movie. Yeah, I remember I had found that out. I was like, wow, that is insane to know that he actually was going to do something like that. And, to be honest, when you sit here and think about Rob Zombie's Halloween, which I love his Halloween. I know some people don't enjoy it. I love Tyler Mane, Scout Taylor Compton, Brad Dourif, everyone in it. It's just, I know it's a rough around the edges and stuff like that. It's not your original 1978 slasher. It's just a Rob Zombie Halloween film. I just think for me, it was more of just it being like a breath of fresh air. And just, I loved how brutal Tyler Mane was in this and just it being so rough and raw. Now, it's some things I did dislike about this movie, but overall, I always get a good watch out of it. I think that, this movie as just a horror film in general, it definitely gives you, this feeling and this fulfillment of a slasher. It's just rough. Mustafa Akkad, rest his soul, he actually passed away. You guys know that. But before he passed away, from my knowledge, he actually wanted Rob Zombie to be one that was, being involved with Halloween. Out of all directors, Mustafa Akkad wanted Rob Zombie to actually, write a Halloween movie and do a Halloween movie before he passed away. So obviously, Malik Akkad, went along with it with his dad's wishes, and we got Rob Zombie's Halloween. So I wonder what made him pick Rob Zombie out of all the directors. I don't know. Maybe he was trying to go for something new. He was tired of the same old, same old. He knew Rob Zombie had a different style of writing. So, the Akkads, they went after Rob Zombie, and now we have, the Rob Zombie side of Halloween movies. Pretty sure you guys already know about the Weinsteins and everything. And, I kind of read a little deeper in it, and I'm going to just tell you this. It is so crazy to know about the things that the Weinsteins did to Rob Zombie, man. Like the stuff they had on set going on, like kind of trying to alternate the story and pull scenes away and just treat him like a legit slave, and just he's doing these things. He's working hard. He's pushing forward with everything and doing these crazy things that were very brutal and very, much had a lot of labor attached to him. And they're coming in and just, basically nagging about the scene, saying, hey, this scene is trash. You need to redo this and you need to change this. Maybe Michael should do this and do that. So to kind of get into it a little more, I want to point out some things that I highlighted that was very interesting to me. And, I just feel real bad for Rob Zombie. It was to the point, he said at a point he wanted to delete himself, if you guys know what that means, because it was just so much struggle. And the only reason he did what he did with Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 was because he was stuck in the contract, and he told the Weinsteins, like, if I do this, do I get out this contract? Do I get out of all this with you guys? So that's the only reason he did that. And it kind of seemed like, did he mess up Halloween 2 on purpose? I don't fucking know. But because it's insane to know what they was saying to him and saying his shit was trash. When the trailer came out, they said like all the scenes were trash. They, told him to fire his editor. They'll have a new editor on board. And Rob Zombie was basically saying like, hey, I feel like my editor, he's doing a great job. But they're like, no, he's not. Take our editor, fire him, and things like that. And the editor that they gave Rob Zombie, he didn't do shit. Like Rob Zombie said it wasn't like no bad blood with him, but it was kind of like he was just hanging around drinking coffee, getting paid for nothing. He wasn't helping. So he said he was just rocking out with his original editor. And he said, like, once the trailer came out, the Weinstein was like, bro, that trailer was fucking brilliant. And he's like, didn't you just say you saw the movie and you hated the fucking scenes? Like, I don't get what's going on. And it was to a point where the Weinsteins had came up with an idea, and he said he was almost about to shoot the ending of the movie, and said they think that Michael should actually be in one of the scenes with ears, like a ears necklace, like, you know, just decapitated ears around his neck. What? I just don't get it. But his exact words were, one of the best ideas he came up with, I was on set shooting, because he would call me the whole time I'm shooting, all night, constantly. He was like, I think Michael Myers should have a necklace of severed ears. I go, well, besides the fact that I hate that idea, we're so deep in the shooting, how do we get that? Continuity. This is dumb on another level. Where does he get them? How does he have them? Why does he have them in this scene? But he doesn't. And that's when I start going, I'm not sure they know how the movies are made. They don't understand we're shooting out of sequence. We shot that, we left that set, we're not going back, we tore it down. So it seems to be that it was going to be a scene where Michael was going to have, you know, severed ears around his neck. And like Rob Zombie said, you know, what was the point of that? Just showing Michael took ears from people? Like, that's too, I don't know what the guys, I don't know what the hills have eyes or whatever the hell you call it. That doesn't seem like Michael Myers. So it seems like the Weinsteins were almost going to sabotage Halloween more than it was sabotage with Rob Zombie's writing. And like I said, I love it, but I feel like, you know, it's not for everyone, because it's rough around the edges, it's brutal and things like that. And we're going to see a lot of the original ideas, which is crazy. But yeah, the Weinsteins, they just gave him a whole tough time on set with him just being, you know, the one who's directing it and writing and just trying to get the movie done. They're trying to switch out scenes, pull away scenes, change Michael's look, just doing all this stuff that's stressing him out. It's making him not want to do it. And he's saying like making a Halloween movie is one of his worst experiences that he's ever done with the movie. It started to get so bad that they knew Rob Zombie's filming schedule, and he used to have to tell them, but he would tell them like a day late. I want to say, he said a day late. He used to tell them the filming schedule, so it all kind of be like they missed it, just to get away from them, because they knew his filming schedule, and they'd come on set and sabotage a lot of things. So I mean, it makes you kind of feel for Rob Zombie, and makes you think like, why the movie's a little rough, because they were just jumping in and trying to fix things, and fix things and see if things can go this way or that way. And some people say they feel like the Weinsteins aren't responsible. With me, what Rob was saying, bro, it kind of seems like it really messed with him, bro. It really made him feel weird and just feel like he couldn't be in his element and writing this movie. Why he did Halloween 2 and everything, his exact words were, I got to make the sequel, which I refused to do at first, because I just wanted out of my contract, because I wanted to delete myself. I had a 3-picture deal with the Weinsteins. Then a couple years later, they had fired 12 different directors for Halloween 2, so I came back. I'll direct it if you let me out the 3rd picture, so I don't have to do 3 pictures. Let me out the deal and I'll do it. So I go to shoot that, and Bob comes to the set, and he's showing me the trailer for Halloween as if I've never seen it, and he goes, every frame in this fucking movie is genius. This is the same guy who said every frame in the movie they fucking hate it. So basically, they were just fucking with Rob Zombie and Sam and B, man. And it kind of makes me feel for him, because, like, thinking about that, being on set of someone trying to pull from your ideas and say your ideas suck and everything, bro, that is just terrible, man. It just really is. So I want to tell you guys about some original scenes that were going to be in a movie, but they did not make it. And let me tell you guys, viewer discretion is advised, especially with this one. So it's a scene with young Michael. We remember how it opened with young Michael and everything, and he's upstairs. I'm not listening. And he, you know, he has the blade, and he's doing what he's doing with the rat. Look, it gets worse. So with the original script, it actually was going to be something where the young Michael was under a fort, like a fort that was built in his room. He looked in the metal box, and he was pulling things out. He had, like, you know, a Playboy magazine. He had a scrapbook of dead animals, and he was actually under the sheets. And it gets better, guys. He was under the sheets pleasing himself to the scrapbook of the dead animals. And I want to say his mother called him. Do you not, bro? If I would have seen that shit when I first seen Rob Zombie's Halloween, I would have not. What is going on right now? Like, you have why do we need to see Michael beat this shit? Like, bro, this is crazy. Like, I never knew this. I'm like, this is right. This right here is insane. So yes, Michael was gonna be doing what he was doing under his little fort with a scrapbook of dead animals, and he had basically a Playboy magazine, and yeah, that is fucking insane. I'm not gonna lie, that is insane. But to give you guys a little bit of detail on it, it says that Michael is about to kill his pet rat, as featured in the film. The script describes young Michael sitting under a makeshift fort in his bedroom. Michael opens a locked metal toolbox which contains a plastic clown mask and an audio cassette recorder, a scrapbook containing pages from hardcore and naughty magazines, and Polaroid photos of dead animals. The script describes viewing these contents through POV, through Michael's clown mask, and then we go from there. So we're gonna see that shit in POV. I am so glad we didn't get that scene, Lord Jesus. I am so glad. That is so fried. Word, that's crazy. But yeah, that's one of the scenes. That was the one that was like cooked. That's cooked. So this one is crazy. So we remember that, you know, the scene with Michael, he's getting bullied in the restroom, and we got the kid from Spy Kids talking about his mom and how she works at the men's club and all this craziness. So later we see what he does to the guy with the big branch in the woods. But originally, for some reason, it was going to be he was going to lure a 9-year-old girl to the woods with the same stick, and he was going to beat her with this stick. It gets better. And then he was going to urinate on her. I'm not lying. Why would Michael Myers do that? Just lure, you know, a younger girl to the woods, whoop her with a stick, and then say, hey, you know what? I'm going to just do this. I don't get it. I genuinely don't get it. So it says, with this whole segment with the little girl in the woods, Michael stalked one of his 9-year-old classmates named Jennifer. He lures her into the woods by deceiving her and claiming her there is magic Halloween candy trees that grows and candy in the woods. After Michael gets her into the woods, he pulls a dead cat whose neck was snapped out of a tree trunk. Michael then says, see my kitty? I snapped his neck and he liked it. You want to pet him? His name is Ronnie. And it is interesting to know Michael named the cat Ronnie, as that is the name of the mother's abusive boyfriend in the script. This obviously traumatized the young girl, but strangely, she does not run away. Michael tells her that he can take her home, that he knows of a secret Indian tunnel that will take her to the front of the house. This hole was to have a piece of wood covering it with the skull and crossbones painted on it. When Jennifer peeks into the hole after Michael uncovers it, he pushes her in and proceeds to put on his clown mask and begin recording with the tape recorder. This is Michael and Jennifer out in the woods. As Jennifer screams and begs for help out the hole, Michael begins to poke her with the big stick in a taunting fashion. Michael was then beginning to hit Jennifer hard over the head with the stick until she became unconscious and blood began to flow. Michael was then to jump in the hole and continue violently beating her with the large until she was dead. As if the moment from the script couldn't get more deprived, young Michael was then unzip his pants and urinating on Jennifer's corpse. First off, the whole learn thing, it sounds like some Diddy shit. And just the whole, him in a magic Indian tunnel, oh yeah, boy, if y'all would have did that, listen, it just seems crazy. And he gets the tape recorder and records it. That's not Michael right there. I don't know what was going on in that right and wrong. Like, wow. This is insane. This whole segment is crazy. I genuinely don't know what the hell was going on with that. But we have more. And then, so originally for Halloween night, once the murder started, you know, Michael was in, you know, eating candy. He was in there with, you know, his family or whatever, his sister Judith. Judith, I'm gonna be late. Yeah, he was in there with her. And in the original script, his mother, Deborah Myers, was going to take him to a school function just so he can get away from Ronnie, because she knew that Ronnie was abusive and how he treated Michael. So what happened was she took Michael actually to this school function, but Michael ended up doing basically what he did in the scene with the kid from the restroom scene in high school. He leaves the school. Remember, he ran out. He runs out the school in the original script from this function and goes back home. And then we get a shot, basically, which I think probably would have been cool because it's a hat tip to 78, a POV shot of Michael going in the house with the clown mask on, and he's completing everything, you know, that happened that night of Halloween, taking out Judith. He took out her boyfriend Steve. It was the same with him with the baseball bat. But with Ronnie, he saws at the throat, and I want to say they said he stabbed him in the heart or whatever. But after, he goes back and continues to stab dead Steve. So I think that's very interesting. I like the whole POV thing with, you know, Mike with the clown mask proceeding through the house, similar to like Halloween 78. I think that would have been very cool to see that element, and I think it would have kind of fit a little better with him kind of just coming back home from the family function, and we get that POV shot of him looking at the Myers house. That would have been very cool. But guess what? There's more.
But wait, there's more.
So then we see a scene where actually Deborah Myers, we know she deleted herself after watching, you know, the video on the projector or whatever, seeing her family and how it is now. So it kind of made her just realize she didn't want to be here anymore, and she deleted herself. But in the original script, she actually got to see an older Michael where he escapes Smith's Grove. He comes home and he sees his mother, and she knew because she heard about her son escaping, so she prepared. And once he came home, he came back home, and she told Michael, because he was looking for his little sister Boo. He shows her a picture of Boo, and she's saying, like, basically, I gave her up for adoption. And then Michael, which is crazy, almost like a hat tip to Halloween 5, he begins to cry, like tears come down his face, and then he says, Boo? You know, like he says her name. So he speaks. In this original, you know, scene, he speaks. He says boo while crying, which this whole scene would have been so bad. But then Deborah kind of does the same thing she did with the original, with her deleting herself like the same way and everything. So I wonder what just happened with that whole scene. Like, what made you want Michael Myers to speak and just say out of all things boo? I mean, I guess it led over to Halloween 2 when he was like, die, when, you know, he did what he did in the ending of final act of Halloween 2, which I'm going to be watching that also, because a lot of people told me, it's better than what you think it is. So I'm going to definitely watch Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, but I'm not going to lie. A lot of these scenes and truths and facts about Rob Zombie's Halloween, it really blew me away. I'm not going to lie. The stuff with him on set, the writing, the Weinsteins, okay. But these original scenes, man, was, bro, brutal. Do you hear me? Brutal. And it's crazy. And I could go on. It's more facts. So comment down below, guys, if you want me to go on, because it's more. So one thing I will say about Rob Zombie's Halloween, though, I really did like that he took that risk. I really did like that Rob Zombie took that risk and brought his own vision to this, movie. And that's why I think I liked it. I feel like if it was like a beat for beat remake, I wouldn't have liked it. I just like the, how fresh it is. It gives you a break as a Halloween fan. And I really did enjoy Tyler Mane and Scout. So, yeah, guys, comment down below. Do you enjoy Rob Zombie's Halloween film? And do you want more of these The Truth videos about some crazy movies and horror that has some crazy facts about them? I got a lot on my list. Comment down below. But unfortunately, this is the end of the video. I want y'all to hit me up on all my social medias at ILIKESCARY. I want y'all to watch some horror movies. Stay scary out there. I will see y'all in the next one. Peace.